Joining us right now is literally the largest guest we were able to get on really short notice. My new best friend, Quinton Aaron.
So I'm large now.
No, see, this is what people can't tell. They look at the, I'm looking at the monitor and it looks like I'm tiny and you're huge. The reality is I'm normal sized and you're just unbelievably huge, right?
Okay, I'll go.
Would you go with that?
I'll go with that.
Would you go with that? No?
I like to think I'm larger than life sometimes.
You are larger. Listen, there's no getting around it. You're big. Now, a lot of folks probably already recognize you from one of my favorite movies of recent years, called The Blind Side.
Yes.
That is really what catapulted you to fame.
It kind of is, yeah.
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 Tell us about, how'd you get that?
My mom.
Your mom?
My mom. She was my manager at the time. She went online 24/7 looking for work for me and came across that role and woke me up out of sleep and just, it was like, look, read this. I read it. She was like, what do you think? I said, that sounds like me. She was like, all right, cool, go back to bed. Next thing I know, I had an audition.
You had an audition?
Yes.
Now, I read this. Is this true? Because I read that you didn't think you'd get the part. You had been doing a lot of work as a bodyguard. Mm-hmm. Lord knows why, because, but you'd been doing work as a bodyguard and stuff, and that when you were there, you gave your card security to them and said, like, if it doesn't work out for the part, you consider me as like maybe security for the movie. Is that true?
Yeah, it is. I wasn't used to, things like that happening.
Landing the big role.
Yeah, exactly. This is
literally
a huge role, a huge opportunity. I'm like, I mean, with my luck, I may not get it.
Right.
But I still do want to work on it some kind of way, even if it's being security for the guy who did make it. So I gave him my security card and told him, hey, look.
Now, let me ask you a question seriously. Are you sad you didn't get the security job?
Kind of.
That I was kind of. You feel that sense of rejection?
I was kind of disappointed about that because I put a lot of work into that card.
I know.
And that pitch. But
did you design that yourself, the card?
Yeah,
Yeah. Or you worked with somebody?
Did a photo shoot for the picture.
This sounds like sounds like something somebody would make up. That you go to get a huge role that people would kill for in a major movie starring Sandra Bullock, the whole deal. This is a big deal Hollywood movie, and you hand them your card saying, if it doesn't work out, I'll be secure. I mean, that's funny.
Yeah.
You realize.
It was cool. It was cool. I felt it was clever. And I put a lot of work into it. I mean, you go and you hand in the headshot. You're like, yeah. Oh, by the way, here's my business card.
Right.
It made me sound professional.
Right,
so
exactly.
I was like,
okay, so how did you feel when you found out you got it? I mean, how many people do they audition for the role of a huge football player?
I heard it was a nationwide search. I heard they...
You heard that?
Yeah.
Because I heard that's not true.
So no, they actually said they
said that to make you feel good that they chose you, but
and they probably did.
Yeah.
They probably did. But they were coming up short.
Yeah.
They had guys that were too big and couldn't
now,
quite
let me ask you, because people would not know this, right? But Robert De Niro, famously for Raging Bull, gained 80 pounds and did all this stuff. I think I read online that before you got this role, you were a tiny white guy and looked a lot like me. Is that true?
No, actually, what it was, I think I wasn't so much your size, but I was competing with Robert De Niro.
People are going to think we're insane, so we're going to forget that we're even joking like this because it's too high concept. But honestly, I mean, the idea that they're looking for a huge guy, you go in, you get the job, and basically, bottom line, your life is changed. You had never done anything like that before. How did your life change?
Man, it's basically, I was almost homeless and now I'm not.
You were almost homeless? We're not talking about the character in the movie.
No, I'm talking about
Michael Orr. Was his name Mike Orr?
Yeah, his name was Michael Orr.
Yeah, he was homeless in the movie.
He was homeless.
But you're telling me
homeless.
You were actually homeless.
Almost. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Almost.
Right before you got this job?
Like 3 days before we moved to Georgia, me and my brother moved to Georgia to film the movie. The marshals were set to come and put us out of the apartment. So we moved 3 days before we were being put out on the street. So it was like almost homeless. Like, yeah.
So you didn't just get a job, you got a major role in a major motion picture.
Yeah.
How was it fun shooting this movie?
It was very fun.
It was
very fun. It was it was like my dream job. But then when the movie was over, it felt like I got laid off. So it was just like,
Right. What'd you do then?
well, I still had a lot of money, so I wasn't depressed.
Right. So we shouldn't feel sorry for you?
No,
In fact, we
no.
should probably resent you, because most of us will never be in big movies. So a lot of us resent you. We're not going to talk about it, but we do. Okay, so you get out of this movie, your life has changed. But just to go back, when did you know you wanted to go into acting?
I was a character all my life, pretty much. My mom told me I learned how to read from watching TV. Cause,
That makes no sense.
We had the old TVs that so subtitles on everything.
Yeah.
And so I'd be watching a lot of my favorite stuff and just reading off the TV. And
You learned to read watching TV.
yeah, it's a
See, I watched a lot of TV as a kid. My parents told me, stop doing that. You should read a book.
Yeah.
But you knew. But
I pick up a book, I'm like,
you fall asleep. All right.
You know,
But
so-
so seriously, I mean, how did you know that you wanted to be an actor, or at what point? How old were you? Would you say that you knew you wanted to go into show business?
it was about 1989. The first Batman came out with Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
And
But how old were you?
I was about 5.
You were 5 at that
I
time.
was about 5 years old.
And you had a sense at that point you wanted to be an actor.
I wanted to be Batman.
You wanted to be Batman.
I wanted to.
You think that's going to happen? I think that's in the cards.
You know what? I got to go up against Ben Affleck. I heard he's the
Really?
next Batman.
I think you could
So I
take him.
think,
You
know,
could take him. Yeah.
I mean, the Dark Knight. What
Right.
better name?
Right.
You know, I'm Darkest Knight. So.
So you wanted to be Batman. So seriously though, from that point on, you had a sense that this is what you want to do.
You know, it's funny. I think when I was younger, I liked the idea of being something else, being someone else, and you know, creating a story made up where I can be great, you know, and
Yeah.
that's what, you know, got me into, when I got into middle school, I started doing plays in school.
Now, where did you grow up?
Born and raised in New York, in the Bronx.
In the Bronx.
And did middle school and high school in Georgia.
Okay.
So a little north and south.
I'm from Queens, so we probably saw each other on the street.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably did. I lived in Jamaica, Queens. For
People
like
in the
1
boroughs,
year.
we know each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you grew up in Queens. You knew right away. You start going into this stuff. When did it hit? High school? When did it hit for you that you know I'm really doing this?
It was actually after I graduated and moved back to New York.
Yeah.
I was trying to submit myself to auditions and stuff on these different little casting websites. And
How old were you at that time, if I can ask?
Like 18.
So at age 18, you're all in. You're not going to
Yeah.
college. You're going to Hollywood.
Yeah, you know, it's one of the things I told my mom. I said, you know, I want to take a year off and try and make it work in this industry. And she goes, that's what all the kids say.
That's what everybody
But they
says, and they
never
waste their life.
wind
10
up
years
going.
later, they're sleeping on their parents' couch in the basement.
You know, and then
Right.
so I said, but yeah, so here's the thing. Let's say I take this year off and I actually make it.
Yeah.
I won't need to go to college.
Right.
You know,
That's
she
correct.
goes, well, you're true, but
Yeah.
all right, let's see what happens.
Okay.
After a year, you don't make it,
Right.
you're going to college.
You could always get your degree from watching TV, just like, you
know,
learn to read watching TV.
pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So what happened? You obviously, something happened.
So, a friend of mine was working on this movie called Be Kind Rewind.
Be Kind, Rewind.
Yes, and that was
Who's in that movie?
Jack Black, Mos Def,
Never
Danny
heard of him.
Glover.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. Danny Glover. Wow, okay.
Yeah,
And what
Danny
year is this?
This was 2006.
2006. Be
Yes.
Kind, Rewind.
And it was a funny movie. They shot out in Passaic, New Jersey.
Was it intentionally funny?
Yes.
It was a comedy?
Yes, it was a
Good.
comedy.
All right, just checking. Okay, so Jack Black, yeah, he's funny. Okay, so that's pretty good. I mean, you got in that. And how did you get that?
I got called to be the big intimidating guy.
That's a
And
stretch for you.
That was a stretch for me.
Right.
'Cause I'm a big guy, but
Right.
a lot of people don't think I'm intimidating.
Right, I do. I
Okay,
do,
Cool.
yeah.
Cool. Well, high five.
I'm not sweating because of the lights.
Okay.
So you get that job, and then, I mean, pretty much what happens between that and The Blind Side? I mean, I can't...
You know, it's funny. The Blind Side came a couple years later.
Yeah.
That was just the start of me getting into SAG and me really pursuing
okay.
it.
Getting
head on,
serious.
You know, and
Yeah.
trying to, make this the career
And
path.
okay, The Blind Side is a story of faith, one of the few ever from Hollywood that portrays Christian faith in an extremely
done
positive
so
light.
good.
That
That's
I mean,
done
it
so well.
amazed me actually. I said, this
Yeah.
is a rare thing. So it's just nice to see that just as a change of pace, no matter where you're coming from. But I understand you're a person of faith, and that you pick your roles somehow that affects how you choose your roles.
I like to do that. As an actor or as someone who loves this industry, I want to do it all. But me personally, I also like to do stuff that has messages in it. So not so much being preachy, but showing people, hey, if you go this route, these are the roads you can take to get to where you want to be. Or if you're doing this, these are some of the outcomes it can have, negative or positive, but there's always a way out. Don't lose hope. Don't give up. Don't.
So often people in Hollywood say, they make the ridiculous statement that, oh, it's just movies, it doesn't affect anybody. But that what's on the screen, it's one of the biggest things that affects and influences people. I also understand that you speak in schools.
I do. I've traveled the country just, dealing with speaking. I have a foundation, an anti-bullying foundation, and I've recently did a tour around the country, speaking at a lot of schools, just visiting kids and talking about bullying and also trying to encourage them and everything to follow their dreams no matter what they're going through. And
now, bullying, it seems to be the hot thing. Like 10 years ago, nobody was talking about bullying. What is it? How do you find your way into that? Because ordinarily, people would take a look at you and not think of you as somebody that's thinking about bullying. How does that?
It's funny. When I was in school, I got bullied. I got bullied a lot.
How big were the kids in your school?
We was all average.
Well, it's not a size thing.
It's funny. I had a growth spurt when I went to middle school. I kind of sprung up and became the biggest kid in school. But all through elementary, I used to get chased. I was the little tall, lanky, skinny kid with a big forehead, thick glasses, and crooked teeth. So I used to get chased home, beat up. I got beat up by a girl in the 3rd grade. It was hysterical, but she looked like a linebacker, and I was.
Would you care to say her name on the air?
You know what? I don't remember.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll skip it.
I try to forget it all. Luckily I don't remember it.
But so you've experienced. See, nobody looking at you would think you've been bullied.
No, yeah.
But
I had to learn how to fight.
You had to learn how to fight.
I had to learn how to fight.
All you had to do is stand still and grow.
Yeah.
Right.
That's it.
No, that's okay. All right.
Well,
right.
you still want to learn how to fight too, because if you're big and can't fight, then you're big for nothing.
Okay. All right.
So I was like, yeah, it worked out well, because even when you get big, you find that there's still people that want to try you just because they think they're quicker than you.
I keep hearing that if you're the big guy, that people are going to figure out, if I could take him, everybody will respect me.
Yeah, something like that.
That's never happened to me, actually.
It didn't work out that well for people who try that.
No,
yeah,
good.
Didn't.
Well, so what's going on with you right now? Again, you said that you try to choose roles that are positive, that are good role models. I mean, do you find it tough to find scripts in Hollywood like that?
Yes.
Is your agent on the lookout for stuff like that for you?
I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
I like to think that they're. Yeah, I better be.
Well, you better be.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, but I'm actually on the lookout for stuff like that as well, and I'm also using my, creativity to create stuff for myself. And
you mean you're writing stuff?
Yeah, I'm trying to write.
You're trying to write, okay.
Collaborate with other writers, and
What are you working on now? What kind of stories
down.
are you working on?
A couple dramas I'm trying to create right now, some action, some, keep people interested. I want to show them different sides of me, but also show them, look, I'm not a one-hit wonder.
Right.
Blindside isn't the only thing I can do.
Right.
There's more to the story.
Yeah.
So, and one of the projects that I am currently working on right now, we're going to try and shoot this summer, which I feel very happy about. It's one of those stories that makes that statement. It's a drama. It shows a side of me no one's ever seen. It shows a big character arc. So it's one of those things I'll get to show depth, in, in my abilities as an actor.
Yeah.
And I'm the creator of the story, which is also a new, journey for me as well.
Right.
And co-writing it and producing it. I'm a first-time producer, so a lot of work cut out, but I like it.
You're a little bit creative, it sounds like.
I try to be.
Okay, well, what is next for you? I think, is the Left Behind movie the next thing that's going to come out for you? And who is in that? Tell us about that.
Yes, that is a cool movie. It's about the rapture. It's about...
Okay, now I know there's some people who have no idea what that means, so give us the basics.
Basically, in a nutshell, when Jesus came back to take everyone who, were deserving of going.
Okay, so this is a Bible-focused end-time scenario. This is the end of the world.
Yes.
And some people get left behind. I mean, this has been, I know there have been other movies and books, but so this is a new version, a new movie.
Yeah.
And who's this starring? Nicolas Cage?
Nicolas Cage, Chad Michael Murray, good friend of mine, Nikki Whelan, Leah Thompson's even in it.
Okay.
I love her. She's cool.
Does she get left behind? Do you get left behind? Don't blow it, because
you know what? I don't even know.
You don't know?
I don't even know.
Does anybody get left behind?
I haven't seen the movie yet. I can imagine some people do get left behind.
Okay.
Or else it wouldn't be a movie.
All right. Yeah, I guess so. But was it fun for you to shoot? I mean, it sounds like it's a very dark kind of theme.
Oh, and Jordan Sparks is in it as well.
Jordan Sparks. Okay.
Beautiful Jordan Sparks. She's
okay.
Amazing. Yeah.
So and when did that wrap? That was like a few months ago?
Yes. That was it's funny. The weather never changes out here in California. So I was telling you earlier, you forget when things was. I'm like,
so the weather was
in New
nice,
York,
so
it was like, it was cold,
whatever.
so it was in the winter. I'm like, no, it's the same weather today was the weather it was when we. So I don't remember.
That's the downside of California, right?
Yeah, but it was. I feel like it was a couple months back.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing. What role do you play in that, real quick?
I'm someone who goes away.
Somebody who you mean?
Yeah.
Who goes? Okay, I got it. All right. We don't want no spoilers here.
Yeah, no spoilers.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing you in that movie. I'm personally looking forward to see what happens with you in the rest of your career. You've got a great foundation, and I don't mean. I mean, you literally have a great foundation that you use to speak in schools, to do good, to be a role model. But I mean, in your career, you've set a great foundation for yourself. The fact that you're looking for good role models. I wish more actors were thinking like that. So I want to thank you for that, and I hope we can have you back after the movie comes out. So thank you for being with us, Quinton.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Cool.
We'll be right back.